Hi dear students, hope you are all doing good. So today we are going to learn the next concept that is called the resonance effect, and it is sometimes also called a metameric effect or M effect. Okay, so we will try to see what it is, we will try to see the different examples and everything. Now you might have already learned inductive effect, and we have went through all the applications of inductive effect. Hope you remember. Okay, and I told you all these effects are there to help us to predict the stability of a particular reaction intermediate. It can be carbocation, or it can be carbanion, free radicals, or to predict the reactivity of certain compounds. Now let's see what is basically resonance, or what does it will do, or many topics are there under resonance. First we will try to see the definition of resonance. Okay, now the basic definition states that resonance is nothing but the delocalization of pi electron. Okay, delocalization means what? Localization means staying at one place. Delocalization means moving actually. So we know that there are two types of bonds are there, correct? We know that there are sigma bond as well as pi bonds are there, correct? So who is involved in resonance? I can say pi bond is involved in resonance, correct? Pi bond is involved in. Why? Because the pi bond is a weak bond, so it can easily move from, or the pi electrons can easily shift from one orbital to the another orbital, and this shifting of pi electrons, we can say it as resonance. Okay, so that's why they are saying delocalization of pi electron is called resonance, or it is what? The complete transfer of pi electrons from one shell to the another shell, correct? So now first thing we need to say here is, what are the conditions of resonance? So before I start with conditions of resonance, I will also give a short idea on detection of resonance, how to say whether in a particular compound whether resonance is present or not. Let me explain that, then I will go for conditions of resonance. Okay, so let me explain. For example, if you have a compound like this, okay, so you know what is this compound, so I am just drawing it out. You know this is benzene, correct? Now one of the main condition, or one of the main way to detect resonance is there should be conjugation. So I will write that term, there should be conjugation. Okay, so there should be conjugation. So what do you mean by conjugation? Conjugation means alternate. The term means alternate. So with respect to resonance, I can say that if you have double bond followed by single bond, and if you have double bond again then single bond, if there is a conjugation like this, or alternating, double bond alternating with a single bond, double bond again alternating with a single bond, such a system is present, then we can say there is conjugation is present. But it is not mandatory that every time the single bond should be followed by every time a double bond. It can be any other things also. For example, instead of double bond, it can be a lone pair, or it can be a free electron, or even it can be a positive charge. Okay, it can be positive charge, a lone pair, free electron, or even it can be, I can say it can be a negative charge. So if any of these, if instead of pi bond any of these are in conjugation with a single bond, or in alternation with single bond, then I can say there is resonance present there. Now let's see some examples to understand the same. Okay, now if I see the benzene, you can see there is a single bond present, then double bond is there, then single bond, again double bond is there, single bond, double bond is there. So that you can see a conjugation present there, correct? Okay, and also many students will ask a doubt, sir, whether it is like first there should be double bond, then single bond, then it should be like this. No, nothing like that. So I can draw it like this. Every time you should have a single bond. Okay, in between the single bond you can have either double bond, or you can have a lone pair, or you can have a negative charge, or you can have a positive charge, or you can have a free electron. Okay, any of these can come. The same thing can repeat here also. I'm saying the same thing can come here also, and the same thing can come here also. Before the single bond, this should be present. Okay, and the same thing can come here also. Okay, I'll put, if this condition is present or if this situation is present, then we normally say there is resonance is present. This is the best way to detect resonance. Now next what I am going to explain here is conditions for resonance. That means how to draw resonating structures, or if there is something like this is present, then how will you draw resonating structures, or what are the rules to draw for that. That's what next with the conditions of resonance I am going to explain. Okay, I hope this is clear for you. Okay, so let me rub it. So if you have any doubts, please feel free to ask the same thing, taking a snapshot and post it in the doubt clearance group, so that it becomes easy for me to respond to that. Okay, don't feel any nervous for that. It's all about learning. The best you understand, the best you can score actually. Okay, so I have went through. Now let me say the first condition. You can see here the first condition that is given. So the first condition is, if there are two pi bonds in conjugation, then one of the pi bond are transferred towards another pi bond. Please read it. If there are two pi bonds in conjugation, that means pi bonds are alternating. In that case, how the resonance will happen? Because as per my understanding, resonance means delocalization of pi electrons. Then how it will happen? Then they are stating that one of the pi bond, that means pi electrons, will get shifted towards another pi electron. Now let's understand this with this an example. Okay, so you can see here I have taken an example here. Let me draw the same example for you. You have a compound like CH2, double bond CH, then you have CH, double bond CH2. This is the compound shown. Now first thing to understand here is whether there is resonance present or not. You can see here double bond is present here, then single bond, then double bond. That means there is conjugation is present. Then what is the rule stating? If there is one pi bond, there is a single bond, and another pi bond, means what is the rule? Now just now we have learned. It states that one of the pi bond should shift towards another pi bond. So let's say this is shifting in towards right. It is moving towards right. Okay. Then what will happen? You can see here when it moves towards right, the pi bond is coming over here. Correct. So when pi bond is coming over here, what is happening here? Deficiency will come. That's why positive charge is there. When pi bond comes over here, you can see the valency of this carbon. When pi bond comes over here, the valency of this carbon, actually what is happening to that carbon? That valency is becoming more than 8. Then this pi bond will shift towards this carbon. If pi bond is shifting to this, means what? Actually pi electrons are moving. That means this carbon will become negative charge. Understood? Now you can also ask, sir, it is also possible that something like the pi bond can shift also in the left direction, the other direction. Let's see that also. So you have something like this. Okay, so I have kept a double bond here, and here also double bond as the initial condition. Okay, so if you have a situation like this, we have initially done it from left to right. It is also possible that this pi bond can also shift towards another pi bond. Correct. So let's see that structure. So if it is shifting in this direction, you can see here positive charge will come. Correct. Positive charge will come. So what will happen? The pi bond will shift to this particular spot. Correct. This particular spot. Then what will happen? This pi bond, the pi bond that is present here, correct, that will shift in this direction as a negative charge. So you will get the structure that is B. Understood? Now let's see another example. you can see the second example where you have the CH2 double bond C CH single bond double bond is there. So pi bond single bond double bond. So there is a conjugation present there. So how what will happen as per our understanding? It should shift the pi bond. One of the pi bond should shift towards another pi bond. But here, please understand that one of the atoms present here is oxygen. Oxygen is highly electronegative, so always it will attract the pi bond towards it. So always the shift will happen from left to right. It will happen from left to right. So as the process, first it will shift in this direction. So what will happen? It will become negative charge. Then this carbon will become what charge? Positive charge. Then this pi bond will shift in this direction. So you will get double bond here, and here the positive charge will come. Understood? So these are some examples to familiarize with the first condition. That is, whenever there are two pi bonds are in conjugation, the rule states that one of the pi bonds should shift towards another pi bond. Okay. So let's see the next one. The next condition: if there is a lone pair or negative charge and pi bond are in conjugation, then the lone pair of the electron or negative charge are transferred towards the pi bond. That means they are telling a situation where you could see here double bond present here, then single bond, and you could see a lone pair is present in oxygen. If such a situation is there, the rule states that it is the lone pair that will shift towards the pi bond. It is not like pi bond will shift towards the lone pair. So you can easily draw what will happen if the lone pair is shifting in this direction. This will become double bond, correct? Then what will happen to the oxygen when lone pair is lost? It will acquire positive charge. Okay, and when this double bond comes over here, this double bond will get repelled, and what will happen? It will move towards the carbon. So that will acquire negative charge. So hope you understood. So we will do one example here. You could see, and please understand, when lone pair is lost, then only positive charge will come. But if negative charge is present and if that is gone, it will not become positive charge. This is a rule you should remember. Okay. Now just I will explain you the other one. You could see here CH2, okay, double bond CH, okay, OH. So we know that already oxygen has lone pair present, two lone pairs will be present. So we know that there is double bond, then single bond, then lone pair. So there is a conjugation is there, correct? So as per the rule, what should happen? You know that the lone pair should shift towards the pi bond. So what will happen? The lone pair, first step, we will draw that. Okay, CH, it will become double bond OH. So lone pair has moved in this direction. So this becomes double bond, and this becomes positive charge. Why it is getting positive charge? Because the lone pair is lost. And when it is shifted in this direction, already this always have double bond is present, but that will get repelled because the carbon will have more than 8 electrons. So this will get repelled and come here as what charge? As a negative charge. The same example I have just explained as the first one. Okay. Now the same thing you can see here. Here also you can see double bond is present, then single bond, and negative charge is present. So what is the rule? The negative charge or lone pair is in conjugation with a pi bond, means the negative charge or the lone pair will shift towards the pi bond. So that means this negative charge will move in this direction. Okay, so it will form a pi bond here. Then what will happen? When pi bond is coming here, this pi bond will get repelled and it will move here as negative charge. This is how you need to draw resonating structures. I hope you are now understanding. Okay. Now let's see the third rule. The third rule stating that if there is a pi bond that is in conjugation with a positive charge. So you know that positive charge is always a deficiency. So what it will do, the pi bond or the pi electrons will shift towards the positive charge. Understood? The pi bond or the pi electrons will move towards the deficiency. So you can see here a typical example, CH2, you have a pi bond here and you have a positive charge here. So what should happen as per the rule? The pi bond should shift towards the positive charge. So pi bond will move to here. So here, when pi bond comes over here, what will happen? The deficiency of the carbon will get lost. But when the pi bond is moving from here to here, what will happen? You can see here this carbon will become deficient. So that's why you have shown a positive charge here. Understood? So this is one typical example where you can understand. So first rule, when there are two pi bonds are in conjugation, one of the pi bond will shift towards another pi bond. Then it can be done in both ways. If there is a pi bond that is in conjugation with a lone pair or a negative charge, then the lone pair or negative charge will move towards the pi bond. And if there is a pi bond which is in conjugation with a positive charge, then the pi bond will shift towards the positive charge, as we have seen in this example. Is that clear for you? Next, we will go to the fourth rule. The fourth rule is with respect to a free radical. It states that if there is a free electron and a pi bond are in conjugation, then how the resonance will occur. You can see here, I will draw this, then you will understand. So CH2 double bond, CH single bond, CH2, and you can see a free electron is present here. So you can see pi bond, then single bond and lone pair, free electron. So there is conjugation is there. So I know that resonance is present. Then how the resonance will happen? This you can see here how I am drawing that. One of the free electron will shift towards another pi bond. That is, the free electron will shift towards the pi bond. Then this pi bond, you know that it is made up of two electrons, correct? So one of the electron of the pi bond will shift towards the free electron. So what will happen when two electrons combine? You will get a double bond here. So I can write CH double bond CH2. Then what will happen? You have one electron left here, correct? So one electron is left here, that will move here as a free electron. So you will get CH2 dot here single bond. So this is what you will be getting. So same structure you can see here. I just explained. Okay. So please understand, if there is a free electron, then one of the free electron will shift towards the pi bond, and one of the pi electrons also shift towards the free electron, and they will form a bond there. I hope now you understood how to do this shifting and drawing the resonating structures. We will go with the next one. Now coming to the last rule, or it states that if there is a lone pair, okay, and positive charge are in conjugation, that means positive charge, single bond, lone pair. If a system comes like this, then how the shifting happens? You can think normally. We know that positive charge is deficiency, so it cannot shift. So what will happen? The lone pair will move towards the positive charge. So you can see the example here as shown, CH2 with a positive charge, and you can see OH is present and OH has lone pair present. So as per our understanding how the resonance will happen, the lone pair should shift towards the positive charge. So this will become CH2, the positive charge will disappear since the lone pair came here as a double bond, then OH, and we know that when lone pair is lost from the oxygen atom, it will be represented as a positive charge. Please remember this point, only if lone pair is lost, we will denote there as positive charge. That is a rule of chemistry. It states that the lone pair is inherent to a particular atom. So if it is lost, you should show that by a deficiency in that particular orbital. Okay. So I hope you understood the way how we have done the shifting. Now let's see the next one. So the 5 rules we have learned clearly. Now we might have noticed some points while we have done the shifting. That 4 points I have summarized here. The first point here is, whenever you are drawing the resonating structures, only electrons are delocalized and not the atoms. In all the 4 rules, you might have seen the pi bond is shifting from one place to the another, or negative charge is moving from one place to the another, or pi electrons are moving, or lone pairs are moving. Whether any of the atoms changed the position? No, of course not. So that is the first point to be remembered. They will be giving as a question like identify the wrong statement. So please understand, in resonance only electrons are delocalized and not the atoms. Okay. This is very important. Now next rule you can see here. The number of electrons or the number of unpaired or paired electrons in all the resonating structures should be the same. This is very important. This will automatically happen if you follow our rule, or not our rule, chemistry rule, what I have explained to you. The rule states that the number of electron or number of unpaired electron or paired electron in all the resonating structures should be the same. So if you calculate it, you will get it as same. If you can draw the resonating structures of a particular compound, and you can check the total number of electrons or number of unpaired or paired electrons, it should remain the same. Understood? Now third one, it is a permanent effect. As I told, inductive effect is a permanent effect. Similarly, resonance, if it is present or if it is detected, then it will be present every time. That's why we say it is a permanent effect. Then the last point, all the resonating or canonical structures must follow Lewis structures. So this you don't want to be very much careful, sir, how to draw Lewis structures. Don't be cautious about that. Just follow the conditions that I have taught you. Follow that very strictly, then automatically what you are drawing will be Lewis structures. Okay, so I hope you got the idea regarding how to draw the resonating structures. We will do some practice also. So this is something that I have given for you to practice. So you will see I have drawn it in the initial step itself, but I will also show you how to do this now. So you can see here the compound given here is phenol. Okay, so I am drawing it. So you can see here phenol with OH. Okay. Now what is the presence of oxygen? Whenever oxygen is present, we know that lone pair is present here. Now you know that lone pair is present, then single bond is present, then double bond. So that means there is conjugation is there. Lone pair, single bond, double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond, double bond, like that it goes. So I know that whenever lone pair is in conjugation with the double bond, what is the rule? The lone pair should shift towards the pi bond. So how I will draw the next resonating structure, please listen here. So just I am drawing it little big so that you can understand. Okay, so the lone pair will shift towards the pi bond, so this will become positive here because the lone pair is lost, and it will come over here as a pi bond, so it will come here. Now when pi bond comes here, you already know that there is a pi bond here, correct? So that will get repelled because the valence of the carbon is lost. So how it will come? It will come near to that adjacent carbon as negative charge. So I can draw a negative charge here, the remaining thing as such. Okay, so in the next step, if you see here, you can see here negative charge, single bond, double bond is present. So there is a further resonance is present. So what is the rule? The negative charge should shift towards the pi bond. So let me draw that. So you can see here while drawing. So here no changes. You have oxygen, OH, and you have the positive charge present here. So negative charge is moving towards the pi bond like this. So you will get a pi bond here, but you know that when pi bond comes here, the adjacent pi bond will get repelled, and this will become a negative charge here. And you have another pi bond here. So this is the next resonating structure. Okay. Now if you see here, you can see here negative charge, single bond, another pi bond is present. So there is further conjugation is there. So I can say this negative charge will again shift towards the pi bond like this. So I can draw that. Okay, so this negative charge will form a bond here like this. So because of this pi bond will get shifted as negative charge here. So this will become negative charge here, and you will have again the same thing, oxygen with H with the positive charge. Understood? Now you can see negative charge, single bond, double bond, again conjugation is there. So what is the rule? Again negative charge should shift towards the pi bond, so it will come here. So in the next step I can draw, so it will come like this, correct? So you have here pi bond, here pi bond. So this one is also coming, means here also pi bond. But when pi bond comes here, you can see this pi bond will get repelled, and again it will come back here. So oxygen will get the lone pair again, and you have the hydrogen. Understood how I have drawn this? Very important, understanding this and drawing, then only you can draw the canonical structures or resonating structures in a very clear way. Okay. Now next we will see the next example. I have given you another example where instead of lone pair I have kept a negative charge for the carbon. Let's see how to do that. So all these are examples for your understanding. Okay, so I am drawing this also. So you can see here initially it was present like this. Okay, now if you see here in this carbon you have CH2 and minus charge is present. Now please first check whether resonance is present or not. You can see here negative charge, then single bond, then double bond. So what is the rule? The negative charge should shift it towards the pi bond. So what it will do? It will shift in this direction. So you will get the next resonating structure. So I can go like that. So what will happen? You will get a double bond CH2. And please note here one thing, there is no positive charge I am keeping there because the negative charge is lost. It is not the lone pair. Okay. So when it comes like this, you know that this will get repelled. So this will become negative charge here. So this will become negative charge here, and you will have other structure remaining the same. Now if you see here, you can see again negative charge, single bond, double bond is there. So what negative charge should do? It should shift it towards the pi bond like this. So I can draw it again. So it will come like this. You can see this is becoming a pi bond here, and you already have a CH2 here. And when it comes here, you know that this pi bond will get repelled and comes here as a negative charge, and you have another one here. Okay. Now same thing will happen. This negative charge will shift towards the pi bond, so you will get the next structure, something like this. Okay, you will have still CH2 present. Okay, and you have the double bond present. So when this will come here, you will have a pi bond coming here, and this will get repelled here as negative charge. So negative charge will come here. Correct? So in the next structure, one more structure is possible. You can see negative charge again, single bond, pi bond. So negative charge should shift it towards the pi bond like this. So you have the last structure that is coming. Okay. So you could see here, you can see here pi bond is coming. Okay. And what will happen to this one? This pi bond will again move in this direction to become a negative charge in the carbon. So this will become negative charge. You will have other pi bonds remaining like this. So you can see 5 stable structures, resonating structures I have drawn. So same thing you can see here in the picture what I have drawn for you to understand more. So this is how you need to draw resonating structures. You can see still more examples. Now I have given you another example with the positive charge. So let's explain with the same figure. So you can see here positive charge is present, then single bond and double bond is present. So what is the rule? When there is double bond, single bond and positive charge, how the shifting happens? The rule states that the pi bond should shift it towards the positive charge. So when pi bond is shifting towards the positive charge, let's see how that is happening. Okay, let me draw it again one more time, since positive charge I have not shown you, so you could understand that. So you could see positive charge is present. Now as per my understanding, double bond, single bond, positive charge. So this pi bond should shift it towards the positive charge. So the next structure will be what? Actually you will get a structure like this. You will get a double bond here, so that the deficiency of the carbon is removed. But when the pi bond is moving in this direction, this carbon will feel deficiency. So this will become positive charge, and you have double bond, other double bonds placed at the correct place. Now the next case here is again you have a positive charge, then single bond and double bond. So what is the rule? This pi bond should shift it towards the positive charge. So you have the next structure drawn like this. Okay, and you have double bond, CH2 is present. So when pi bond is shifting in this direction, here you will feel the deficiency. So this will become positive charge, and you have the double bond here. Correct? So next thing again you can see there is deficiency, then single bond and positive charge, double bond. So what will happen? The pi bond again will shift it towards the deficiency. So again the next structure will be something like this. Okay, so you will get something like this, and you will have deficiency here, and you will have CH2 here. Again if you see there is positive charge here, then single bond, double bond. So what should do? The double bond should shift it towards the positive charge like this. So you will get the final structure something like this. So you have something like this. So what will happen? So this carbon will lose the pi bond, so that will become positive charge. So you will get the resonating structures like this. So I hope you are now understanding how to draw the resonating structures. Please follow the rules. Okay. Now let's go with another example. So here what is the case? Here pi bond is in conjugation with another pi bond. Then the rule states that the pi bond can shift towards another pi bond in any direction. But since oxygen is present here, we know that oxygen is being more electronegative. It will never allow the pi bond to move in the other direction, that is away from the oxygen. So always the pi bond will shift towards the oxygen. So let's see how that happens. We will draw that example as well. So you have, this is an aldehyde group. Okay, so you can see here C double bond O and H, and you have pi bond here, another pi bond here, another pi bond here. Okay, now as per the rule, now you know that pi bond can move either towards down, but here it is not possible because oxygen is one of the atom. So the pi bond will shift towards the oxygen. So what will happen? You can see here. So this one will become O negative. Already it has lone pair. When pi bond is coming, this will become negative charge. And when that happens, what happens to the carbon? Carbon will become slightly positive. And we know that there is double bond present here. So what double bond will do? Double bond will move towards the positive side carbon. Because if positive charge is there and double bond is present here, what will happen? Double bond will shift towards the positive. So you will get double bond here. So when double bond is moving in this direction, so this will become what actually? Positive. And you will have other bonds located in the similar way. So next in the case, what will happen again? Positive charge, single bond, double bond. So the double bond will move towards the positive charge. So you will get the next something like this. Okay. So when pi bond is moving in this direction, this carbon will become deficient. So positive charge will come here. Then you have something like this. You have double bond CHO, negative. Now again, if you could see positive charge, single bond, double bond. So double bond will move in this direction. So the next structure will be what actually? You can see something like this. Something like this will come, and you have positive charge here and double bond CHO minus. Okay. Now you have a positive charge here. Now we know that again double bond is present, so double bond will shift in this direction. Correct? So you will get the next resonating structure, something like this. So you will have something like this where double bond is coming in this direction. So what will happen to the carbon? Carbon will lose, again will get a positive charge here. So this negative charge will go in this direction. So again it will get C double bond O, and this will become H. So again you can see 5 resonating structures are coming. So these are the maximum possibilities. So I have shown you all possibilities when lone pair comes, when positive charge comes, when negative charge comes, and when there is pi bond is present, how to shift it. This you need to understand and redraw it as much as possible. Okay. Okay. So actually we were discussing how to draw the resonating structures, what is basically resonance and everything. So basically the resonance or the mesomeric effect. Sometimes in some book they used to classify this resonance and mesomeric effect as a separate stuff, but majority of the book states that both are same. We can say mesomeric effect is a subset of resonance actually. Why I am saying it's a subset or it comes under that means when we say especially it is mesomeric effect means if the delocalization of pi electron happens in a conjugated system which is due to the presence of an electron withdrawing or electron donating group. Okay, in that case we explicitly say that as a mesomeric effect. For example, I can say this mesomeric effect or M effect, same as resonance effect, is classified into two. But just I will tell you one phenomenon. For example, you can see this structure. Okay, so I'm taking benzene here, okay, with OH. Now you can see it is a conjugated system, but here I have taken benzene which is having a lone pair. So I know that if OH group is present, this lone pair will shift it towards what actually? Shift it towards the pi bond. That is a rule. That means OH group is what sort of group it is? It is an EDG, electron donating group. Understood? Now the same thing I can give you another example where I have a benzene system, conjugated system. Okay, instead of OH I am connecting a CHO group. Okay, so double bond O, you have an H. Now when CHO group is present, I know that surely the pi bond will move towards oxygen because oxygen is more electron negative. We know that the pi bond can shift in either direction, but in this case, since oxygen is more electron negative, it will move in that direction. So what will happen? The carbon will become positive charge when it is shifting, and the pi bond from the benzene, okay, pi bond from the benzene will shift towards the carbon. Now we know that in this case the group CHO is electron withdrawing because of the oxygen, it is withdrawing the pi electrons. So it is an EWG group, electron withdrawing group. Now because of these two phenomena, two important things happens to benzene. One thing is, in this case when pi electrons are shifting towards the benzene, the charge that is coming to the benzene ring is negative charge. You know that this pi electron will come here and this pi bond will shift here as a negative charge. That means the negative charge will circulate. That is an important point. Okay, so here the negative charge circulates. Okay, now in this case you can see here when the pi bond is moved from benzene towards the outside group, what is happening? There is positive charge will come towards the benzene ring. That means positive charge circulates. Correct? So what is the effect of this group then? I can say benzene generally is an electron rich system. If you see, there are 6 pi electrons are there. So who should come towards benzene actually? Somebody who loves electron. Who is loving electron? I can say an electrophile who loves electron. Correct? So when an electron donating group is present, actually it is adding more electron to the benzene system. So it is very easy for an electrophile like E plus to come near to the benzene ring. But in the other case, when CHO group is connected, actually this is circulating a positive charge. That means more deficiency is getting created in the benzene system. So when you see an electrophile which is having E plus, it will get repelled because of this positive charge. So it will try to find a location where it is having maximum electron rich centers. And I could say that this positive charge moves from this position, that is ortho, this is para, and this is another ortho position, and this is the meta position. So we know that the positive charge will move from ortho to para, again para to ortho. So comparatively, who is electron rich? I can say meta position is electron rich. So electrophile will attack meta position. But in the other case, you can see electrophile will always try to go to electron rich center. So here ortho and para position is getting more electron rich. So in the case of EDG group, electrophile will attack ortho para position. That is the reason why in next year when you learn the chapter alcohol, you can say that the majority of the reactions given by the benzene system when it is, or the phenolic system when it is connected to OH, the product formed will be ortho para directing. But in the next chapter, when you learn aldehydes, ketones, I can say the major product formed there will be meta product, because or the substituent or the electrophile will attack at the meta position and the product will be a meta product. This is the reason for that. So you should, next thing what you need to learn is identifying the given group of atoms as whether electron donating group or electron withdrawing group. So based on that, this mesomeric effect is classified into two, that is plus sum effect and minus sum effect. That is what next we are going to see. Okay, so if you see the plus sum effect, I can say as per the definition I have shown here, the group that donates the electron pair to the conjugated system. Here the conjugated system I shown was benzene. Then that groups are called plus sum effect exerting groups, or the effect is called plus sum effect. So please see some of the examples. I can simply say or I can say the groups that have lone pairs of electron will always, if it is connected to the benzene system, it will donate electron to the benzene. That is the simplest way to remember. So here if you see the first example, NH2, you can see nitrogen has lone pair, so it will donate electrons. Next you could see OH, So oxygen has lone pair, so it will donate lone pair to the benzene. Next one you can see OR. OR means OCH3, that is ether. Again, lone pair is present in oxygen atom, so it will donate. Next one NR2. It is just amino group where 2H is replaced by 2 alkyl groups. So this will also has lone pair that will donate to the system. And the next one SH, SH groups, thioalcohol. So this sulfur has lone pair, so it will donate electron to the benzene system. Next one NHR, one of the H is replaced by R. Again the nitrogen is connected to the benzene system, so it will donate electron to the benzene ring. Again next one halogen. Halogens has lone pairs, so that will also donate electron to the benzene system. Next one NHCOCH3, amide groups, so that will also donate electron to the benzene system. So simplest shortcut is what? Check the atom which is connected to the benzene, and if it has lone pairs, okay, that will get donated to the benzene system. Very easy. Based on this, I can say if any of these groups is given, I can say this is plus some group, and this will donate electron to the benzene system. Thereby, it will activate the benzene system. Why I am saying it is activating the benzene system? Because the negative charge or the lone pair is getting more at the ortho para position. Thereby, it is becoming more electron rich, and thereby the electrophile can easily attack benzene. Okay, I hope you understood. Now here I have shown one example that what we have already seen, OH is donating lone pair to the benzene system. So what will happen? It becomes double bond. It becomes double bond. Then this double bond will get repelled. Then that will come here as negative charge. You can see here. Correct? So OH is a lone pair donor. So we say OH group has plus some effect. I hope you got a fair idea. Now next we will see minus M effect. Okay. So as per the definition, now you itself can say what is minus M effect. What will be minus M effect? The groups which withdraw electron from the benzene. So those groups are called minus M effect exerting groups. And this phenomenon is called what? Minus M effect. Understood? Now different examples you can see. I will also elaborate it. So CHO, you can see here, C double bond O, you have hydrogen, and this is connected to a benzene system. Okay, so since I know that carbon is connected to the benzene ring and oxygen is more electronegative, so the pi bond will shift towards oxygen, carbon will become positive, and the pi bond from benzene will move towards carbon. So I can say since pi bond is moving from the benzene to the connected group, we say it is a minus M group. And because of that, what will happen? A positive charge will come to the benzene. So positive charge will deactivate the benzene system. Why? Because I am saying that with respect to the type of reaction given by benzene, because benzene is getting approached by always by an electrophile. So electrophile always expects more electron to be present there, but when positive charge comes there, it will get repelled, and there is a chance that the reactivity decreases. So we say that it is deactivating, or electron withdrawing group deactivates benzene. Clear? Similarly, COOH. For COOH also you can apply the same logic. You can see C double bond O, and there is OH, and I know that this carbon is connected to the benzene. Again, I know that oxygen more electronegative, so this will move in this direction. So positive charge will come. And similarly COOR, correct? The same logic. So as a whole, I can roughly state that identify the atom that is connected to the benzene and check the neighboring atoms. If the neighboring atoms is more electronegative, surely I can say that that pi bond will shift towards more electronegative atom. For example, if you see carbon here, that is connected, but adjacent element is oxygen. Oxygen is more electronegative than carbon. So what will happen? That pi bond will move towards oxygen only. And COR, same thing, oxygen is nearby. And NO2, here you will have a doubt, sir, nitrogen and oxygen both are electronegative, but I can say that oxygen being more electronegative than nitrogen, the lone pair of the nitrogen will move towards oxygen only. Understood? Similarly cyanide, nitrogen more electronegative than carbon, so the pi bond of the cyanide will move towards the nitrogen. Similarly COX, CONH2, all these are similar logic you can apply. Okay. So the idea is very simple. The plus M group activates benzene ring, minus M group deactivates benzene ring, because the minus M group circulates positive charge, which creates deficiency at ortho and para positions. So the incoming electrophile will feeling it difficult to attack at ortho and para positions, so it will go to meta position. But in the case of plus M effect, the attached group, the group will donate electron to the benzene system, thereby making the ortho para position more electron rich. So because of that, what will happen? The incoming electrophile can easily attack at ortho and para positions. I hope it is clear. Now next we will move to the next slide. Next very important thing to discuss here is the applications of resonance. So we told, like, we have learned inductive effect, then we have learned the applications. So similarly, the resonance can also be applied to identify the stability of this reaction intermediates. And you know that one among the reaction intermediate is a carbocation. That is a carbon carrying positive charge. So the first application, as you could see here, that is to determine the stability of carbocation. Okay. Now, this you can understand. Okay, what is carbocation? Just note down. That is carbon, correct? Carbon carrying positive charge. Positive charge. They are called carbocations. And who are carbocations? They are reaction intermediates. Correct? Reaction intermediates means during a reaction, the reactant will first convert it into an intermediate product, that is called a reaction intermediate. Then this reaction intermediate will change to product. This may not be the case every time, but for some species, for example, alkyl halide, haloalkanes, we have seen this is the phenomenon. Okay, so to explain the stability of such a reaction intermediate, we can make use of resonance, hyperconjugation, and inductive effect. Always, again, I am saying priority should be for resonance, then hyperconjugation, then inductive effect. This is a very important point to remember. Okay. Now let us understand how to apply resonance to the carbocation stability by seeing some of the questions. Then you will get a fair idea. Okay. So the first question here, you can see three species being given here. One, this one, and you have the second one here, 2, and you have the third one here, 3. You need to say among the three species which one is more stable. Okay, so let's take the first one. So you can see CH2, double bond, CH, single bond, CH2 plus. Correct? So you can see here, first thing to check here is whether resonance is present or not. Okay, so if resonance is present or not, how you can check that? You can see here, double bond is present, single bond, positive charge. So double bond, single bond, positive charge, conjugation. That means resonance is present. If resonance is present, you know that, right now how to draw the resonating structures. Since it is in conjugation with positive charge, how you will draw? The pi bond will shift towards the positive charge. That you can say. So, but the idea here is what? This carbocation, this carbon carrying positive charge, is stabilized by what phenomenon? SBR. SBR means stabilized by resonance. Okay. Now the next one you could see, the next species, CH3. Okay. Then you have CH2. Okay. Then you have CH2 plus is present. Now tell me whether here resonance is present or not. Now you can see here plus single bond, again single bond, positive charge. There is no conjugation present. That means there is no resonance. But you know that this CH3, CH2 group, what effect does it has? It has plus psi effect. Okay, and also you know that this is the alpha carbon. That means it has 2 alpha hydrogen also present. So I can say this species is stabilized by hyperconjugation by the presence of 2 alpha hydrogen or inductive effect. It doesn't have any resonance. Now coming to the third species, you can see here again double bond, then single bond, again single bond, then positive charge. That is not possible. If there is double bond, then single bond is acceptable, but next one should be either positive charge or double bond or negative charge or lone pair like that, but that is not present. That means this also, the third species also do not have resonance. Correct? Do not have resonance. So do not have resonance means now we can compare the stability. You know that the first priority should be given for resonance. So who will come first? The first species will have the highest stability. That's the reason why the arrow comes like this. Correct? So the first species is more stable. Then comes the next species. Why the next species? Okay, then you can ask, sir, comparing second and third one, how will you check it? The reason for that is in the second one, it is stabilized by 2 alpha hydrogen, correct, by applying hyperconjugation. But here if you see near to this is my alpha carbon, and how many alpha hydrogens are present? Only 1 alpha hydrogen is present, 1 alpha hydrogen. So we know that more the number of alpha hydrogen, more it is stabilized. This is the main reason. In addition to that, we know that this group CH2 double bond CH, which is having sp2 hybridization. So that will attract more electrons, and the positive charge in this carbon keep on increasing. So that's the reason why second species is more stable than the third one. I hope you got a fair idea. Now we'll go to the next example. Now look at this example and try to understand and familiarize with it. So here also you can see in the first one, that is CH3, okay, and you have a carbon that is carrying positive charge. Then there is another CH3, okay, and you have CH double bond CH2. This is the first species present here, correct? So in this species, if you see here, I can say positive charge, correct, then single bond, then double bond. So there is conjugation present. That means resonance is present. In addition to that, you can also see there is CH3 group here and CH3 group here. So these two are alpha carbons, because near to the positive charge what is present, or near to the carbocation what is present, that is my alpha. So how many alpha hydrogens are there? 6 alpha hydrogens are available. 3 is present here and another 3 is present here. Okay. Now, next one I am seeing. Next one if I am analyzing. Okay. Next one if I am analyzing, you have CH3. Okay. Then CH with positive charge. Okay. Then you have CH double bond CH2 is present. Now in this case, you can see there is a positive charge is present, but near to that, you can see also here also resonance is present. Positive charge, single bond, double bond. Now comparing 1 and 2, both are having same amount of resonance. Now next, what one you can use to compare? Hyperconjugation. So here if I am seeing this is my alpha carbon, so 3 alpha hydrogens are present here. Even you can consider this as an alpha hydrogen, but normally hydrogen which is hybridized with sp2, we won't consider it as an alpha hydrogen. Okay, so basically 3 alpha hydrogen, but the first one has 6 alpha hydrogen. So more stability is for first species than the second species. Now coming to the third one, you can see here okay. So coming to the third one, you can see CH2 plus, then you have CH double bond CH2. Now looking at this, I know the third species also have resonance, because positive charge, single bond and double bond, but there is no other supporting factors like hyperconjugation or nothing. So comparatively I can say one is more stabilized than second one, and second one is more stabilized than third one. This is how we can explain it. Okay, so we can go to the next question. So this I have given a big order for your understanding. We will try to see each species and say why this is more stabilized. So this order, by logically you can remember this. You don't want to by heart this. So the first species you can say here, this one is the most stabilized. Why? Because you can see here carbon is with a positive charge, and this is connected to, okay, 3 other phenyl system. So phenyl means, you know, something like this, benzene with 1 hydrogen removed. Okay, let me draw in a neat way. So you have carbon with positive charge, and this is connected to one of the benzene ring. Okay, so you can see here this is one benzene ring, and you can see this positive charge can be in resonance with this benzene ring, or it is also possible this is also connected to 3 phenyl rings, correct? So for easiness I am putting a circle here, and you can see it is also connected to another one. Okay, so that means this positive charge can go in resonance with any of these 3, correct? So that means more amount of resonating structures are possible. That means if more number of resonating structures are possible, then that is more stabilized. Okay, now let us go to the next species. So in the next species, if you see, it is connected to two phenyl system. You can see here it is connected to two phenyl system, and there is one more hydrogen is present. And we know that hydrogen, nothing to do, this positive charge can enter into resonance with the two systems now. That means the number of resonating structures is becoming less. Now in the last one, if you see, it is connected to only one phenyl system. So I can remove this also, and one more hydrogen I can add here. So this plus charge can enter into resonance with only one phenyl system. That means again less number of resonating structures. Now after this, now I know that with each benzene ring it can create around 5 resonating structures. So for the first one around 15 possible, then 10 possible, third one again some 5 possible, and then coming to the next one. So in the next one you can see CH2 double bond CH, then CH2 plus. So this one you can see again double bond will shift towards here. So you will get 2 resonating structures. That's the reason why it is coming here actually. So until this, I can say until this, all these species are stabilized by what effect? Stabilized by resonance. So that's why I used to say always resonance will have the highest priority. Then coming to the next one, that is you can see the next species where 3CH3 group is connected to a carbon plus. For example, I can draw that CH3 and another carbon, there is another CH3 and there is another CH3 with a positive charge present. I know that there is no resonance is present, but here hyperconjugation is present because this is an alpha carbon, this is an alpha carbon, and this is an alpha carbon. So this system is stabilized by 9 alpha hydrogen. So that is stabilized by hyperconjugation. Now coming to the next one, you can see one of the CH3 is removed. Okay. So one of the CH3 is removed means what is happening? Hydrogen is coming. So this is stabilized by how many alpha hydrogen? 6 alpha hydrogen. Now in the next one, you can see one more CH3 is removed. So what is happening? One more hydrogen is coming. So this is stabilized by 3 alpha hydrogen. So as the number of alpha hydrogen decreases, the stabilization using hyperconjugation also decreases. I will explain hyperconjugation in detail, but I need that also to explain here. Now once that is over, we come to CH3 plus. Okay, then comes CH2 double bond. I know that this is unstable because sp2 hybridization. But comparing with this one, this is sp hybridization, which is more electron attracting, more unstable. So from here, actually these resonating structures are unstable actually. But if you compare with those two, again triple bonded is more, I can say, unstable because of sp hybridization, which is more having more amount of s character is present. So I hope you got a fair idea regarding this one. Okay. Next we will try to do the next question. Very important, please note down these things. This is the crux of organic chemistry, I can say like that. Okay. So coming to the next question, you can see now give the stability order for this one. Now please think it and say, in the first one you can say double bond, single bond, positive charge. So resonance is present. So I can say stabilized by resonance in the first one. Next one, if you say positive charge, single bond, double bond, single bond, double bond, more amount of conjugation is present. That means more resonating structures are possible. So this is also stabilized by resonance, but more number of resonating structures. Now going to the next one, positive charge, single bond, double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond, double bond. So more amount of conjugation. So that means more number of resonating structures. So tell me which one will be more stable. If I say this is third one and this is second one and this is first one, I can say the more stable one will be third one, then second one, then first one. The reason for that is what? The third one has more amount of resonating structures. If the resonating structures are more, then I can say it is more stabilized through resonance. Clear? Now try to do this question. So here let me check this one. Positive charge, single bond, double bond. So stabilized by resonance. Now here positive charge, single bond, double bond, again single bond, again single bond. That means this will not involve in resonance. So this is also stabilized by resonance only until this part. Now what then this double bond will do? This double bond has what hybridization? sp2 hybridization. So what it will do is it will attract the electron, thereby increasing the positive charge and making the system unstable. So I can say that the first one is more stable than the second one because of this double bond that is not part of resonance, not involving in resonance. And we know that when double bond is present, sp2 hybridization, so it will attract electrons. If it is attracting electrons through sigma bond, what will happen? The positive charge on the carbon keep on increasing, making the system unstable. Now next one, positive charge single bond again single bond, positive charge single bond again single bond, that is there is no conjugation, that means no SBR here, no resonance through stabilization. So that is the least stable. So again the order of stability, if this is the third one, the order of stability will be 1 greater than 2 greater than 3. In the 1 and 2 we can see there is stabilization by resonance is present. Third one will not show resonance. The reason for that is positive charge single bond single bond. It should be positive charge single bond, then either of double bond anything should come, but here two single bonds are coming consequently, so then there is no resonance is present here. We'll go to the next question. Now look at this question and tell me the stability order. So here also you can see double bond, single bond, positive charge, good, again single bond, double bond. So there is a conjugation present. So I can say this is stabilized by resonance. Correct? Now in the next one, if you see double bond, single bond, positive charge. Okay, again conjugation, stabilized by resonance. But on comparing 1 and 2, you can see one thing. More amount of conjugation is present in which one? 1. Because double bond, single bond, positive charge, single bond, double bond. So you can draw more amount of resonating structures. So 1 is more stable than 2. In the last one, if you see, you can see here, positive charge is present. But the problem here is this positive charge cannot enter into resonance because already there is resonance inside the system. That is double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond, double bond. That means that positive charge is a localized positive charge. Please note this. This is a localized positive charge. So if this is a localized positive charge, what is the problem? Easily this can be attacked by whom? A nucleophile with a negative charge. Or I can say the reactivity increases. Why we say resonance is stabilizing a positive charge? Because resonance will make the positive charge to move around the system. So when a nucleophile or somebody comes, they cannot find this positive charge. It keeps on moving. That is how the resonance is stabilizing. But here what is happening? This positive charge is not involved in resonance, making it as a static positive charge. Thereby the nucleophile can easily attack, making it a less stable. So I can say again the stability order is which one? 1 greater than 2 greater than 3. Hope you are understanding. Okay. So next one we are going a special case. The special case is here you can see CH2 plus single bond, double bond O is present. So oxygen has lone pair. Now the problem here is, as per our understanding or as per our rule, when positive charge comes in conjugation with a double bond, what is the rule? The double bond should shift towards the positive charge. But here the problem is, since oxygen is nearby, okay, if the double bond moves in this direction, oxygen will lose the octet or the number of valence electrons. Right now oxygen is stable with 8 electrons, so making the system unstable. Or you can say oxygen is more electronegative. It will not allow any of the pi bond or lone pair to move in the other direction. It will always allow to move in towards oxygen. So that's the reason why this pi bond cannot move towards here. Understood? So I can say in this case this will not show resonance. Will not show resonance R. Understood the reason? Very important. Oxygen has double bond. If double bond move towards this direction, okay, let me draw. If the double bond is moving in this direction, means what will happen? Oxygen will lose one pair of electrons, that it will become unstable. It will never allow oxygen to become unstable. When it loses, oxygen will get a positive charge. An electronegative atom, if it gets a positive charge, the system will become unstable. Or we can say that electronegative atom always prefer to have negative charge, and an electropositive atom will always prefer to have positive charge. The reason for that is electronegative atom always attains stability by attracting electrons, and electropositive atoms will always attain stability by donating the pair of electrons. That is the reason. Okay. Now looking at this one, there is no resonance. Single bond, double bond, no resonance. But I know that again CH2CO group. CHO group. Here CHO group is connected, that is having minus I effect. So that will attract the electron towards this direction. And here CHO group is present, but that is very much near to the plus charge. So here I can apply only inductive effect. With the inductive effect, I know that if the distance is large, the inductive effect is less. So in the second species, you know that the CHO group is far away from the positive charge. So that means it will attract the electrons very less compared to the first one. So I can say 2 is more stable than the first one. I hope you got a fair idea regarding this one. So in our next class, we will try to see the next application, that is how to determine the stability of carbanion using resonance. Thank you.